After 14 and a half years, I decided to end something I've done every Saturday since the start of 2012. Since then, it meant one thing: watching a movie. Sometimes at home, sometimes in a theater, but on that day of the week, every week, without fail. To understand how I got here, let's go back 15 years to September of 2011. One day after high school world history class, I went to Best Buy to pick up a pre-order of Star Wars: The Complete Saga on Blu-ray. That night was also the season 4 premiere of The Clone Wars. Big day for me, but no way I could start watching my box set and the 2-episode premiere in one night. Blame screen time limits from my parents. What I did was I watched the season 4 premiere of The Clone Wars live because we had cable, but not DVR. Then, after my cousin's birthday party the next day, I watched The Phantom Menace when I got home. Over the next 5 Saturdays, I'd watch a movie from the box set until I finished them. After that, I wondered what I would do next Saturday. I chose to watch the extended edition of Return of the King to end October, then the theatrical cuts of the Lord of the Rings trilogy each Saturday in November, with Vampires Suck at the end of the month, just barely fitting it in on my iPod on the ride to and from my great uncle's birthday party. I then kept going with other movies each Saturday till Christmas Eve, when I barely fit in another one around family events. New Year's Eve, I decided to skip that night and make 2012 the year I established something to look forward to every week with the Saturday movie, and be able to say I made it 50 Saturdays if the Mayans were right about December 21st. That first Saturday was amazing. I remember going to Best Buy to get a new video game, playing it, and then after dinner, sitting down for Pokemon, the first movie. I chose that because it was the first of what would be many Saturday movies, and because I happened to have the DVD from Movie Stop. Over the next couple weeks, I'd go through freshman year of high school, buying a new 3DS game and some iTunes cards for new movies to buy digitally, while watching through the aforementioned DVDs, one for Giratina and the Sky Warrior, and the one snafu in hindsight, the It miniseries from 1990. I mistakenly thought it was a movie at the time, when in fact, it's a 2-episode miniseries. In February, I'd established what I called theatrical trips, with a 3D re-release of The Phantom Menace, which would be an occasional Saturday movie in lieu of one at home. Over the rest of 2012, I'd build my digital library, forming core memories of seeing big releases like The Hunger Games and The Avengers, along with watching movies I'd collect digitally from years prior, fulfilling the originally stated purpose of something to look forward to at the end of the week. It was the one thing I'd make sure to get in every Saturday if I got nothing else in. Even when I was making my short films starting towards the end of that year, all the way up till last weekend, way beyond the Mayan prophecy. Over the years, I'd add a Friday movie dedicated to R-rated ones in 2017 due to my aversion to them in my teen years and my unwillingness to just assimilate them into Saturday. Then abolish it at the end of 2022 when I reformed the Saturday movie into the newest release of interest on streaming or rental, with theatrical releases being on any other day of the week, usually Thursday for the preview show or Tuesday to keep ticket costs down. I'd also take up various forms of movie and TV review content on various platforms. eventually dropping that in 2024 in favor of just watching and enjoying, picking it back up in 2025, and pulling the plug this past weekend. I'd add little rules and exceptions over the years too. I'd reset it to simply newest release of interest in 2023, like I said earlier, first at home, then at the theater in 2025, with home being a backup, but found myself obsessing with whether it had an MPA rating or not. Before 2023, Saturday would be for G, PG, PG-13, while Friday would be for R. After 2023, it was anything with an MPA rating. I won't bore you with every little thing I came up with, but I can get very uptight. Even if I'm not watching to grade and critique, I want the best possible conditions because I do not put on movies in the background. If I have a movie on, I am watching it. My phone is beyond my reach or firmly in my pocket at a theater, and it gets the fullest attention I can give it. But I admit to struggling with concentrating if something else is on my mind. I am anti second screen when it comes to scripted movies and shows, though I admit I'm not as good about it with YouTube. That said, most YouTube content is people talking with the occasional B-roll, making it more suited for background listening, which is why I constantly have something playing from my phone thanks to YouTube Premium. The point is, I either give movies and TV my full attention, watching from start to finish, not pausing if I don't absolutely have to, or I don't start it in the first place. And summertime is more difficult, especially when we aren't running the AC here at home. That's another reason it got so tiring, especially with other factors. Last year, I found myself forcing movies into my schedule, which was in line with who I was at the time due to being a shut in. Even then, I wish I had taken a summer break because watching movies or TV at home is annoying for me when we're not running the AC from about mid May to mid September. If I want a fully dark room, I have to wait much longer for the sun to set or be far enough out of the way and close my blackout curtains. When we're not running it, which my dad only does up to a certain temperature, my room's a sauna unless my window's open and not covered by the blackout curtain, or it's unseasonably cool. Over the past 2 summers, I wish I had saved movies for air-conditioned or unseasonably cool nights, because I know that's when it'll be more comfortable. That should have been my first sign to stop this sooner. Compare that to the rest of the year when the sun sets early enough that I can start before 7 p.m., have dinner and evening snack in one go while I watch, and without the review, I can just go to bed right after, especially if it was a long movie. On top of that, the weather's not something that forces me to choose between an overly warm room or proper lighting. I can have it both ways. The Saturday movie wasn't the only thing draining fun out of movies for me. As of last weekend, I'm also done with making movie and TV reviews. Having to assemble the assets for it and writing something up was sucking the enjoyment out of movies and TV. Instead of just enjoying the movie, I was thinking about what I'd say in the review. On theater trips, I also found myself having to write up the review and get it out on Instagram. I was either idling in the theater lobby after my movie or when I moved on to the next spot, rather than just enjoy post-movie lunch or activity. I think the best example would be Saturdays where I would go to AMC Causeway for a movie, then rush over or back to the Museum of Science for a scheduled presentation, having to work on the review either when I was walking certain portions of the walking route or when I was waiting for it to start. Without doing the review, I could have seen my movie, enjoyed it or not, and moved on to the next thing. At home, it was just something that caused me to stay up later, or generally added work to something that should have been fun. On the go, it wasted time I could have spent getting to the next destination or doing something I couldn't just do at home. From now on, Saturday is simply an option for a new release at AMC if it's something I want to see. If you want to know how serious I am about this, I booked Young Washington for Friday the 3rd and cleared the 4th for a variety of activities around Boston because it's a once in a lifetime opportunity to celebrate America's 250th birthday this way. I still want to see Young Washington, but I'm not shoving it into Saturday and missing the chance to see the reading of the Declaration of Independence from the old State House because I want to go to the earliest possible show that simply can't coexist with that on the schedule. All that said, I'm glad I'm dropping this tradition turned obligation in addition to doing reviews. They sucked the enjoyment out of movies and TV, and so did forcing a movie in every Saturday. A movie should have been one thing among many I could have had as something to look forward to at the end of the week. Even back when I started this in 2012, I was getting a new 3DS game every week and spending Saturday afternoon on those. Today, I have so much more I can experience, which I wish I'd discovered and gotten into sooner, which is why I like to say, binge real life, not TV. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment what you like to have as something to look forward to, and subscribe for cultural commentary and rants from a man caught between generations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.